And hello race fans, and welcome here to the Rockingham Speedway. We're getting the field set for race number 4 of the season. It's going to be this Monday night, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and we've had ourselves 3 exciting races. I mean, with the Daytona 500 about a month ago now. Then you had Phoenix 3 weeks ago, and then this past week at Auto Club with an exciting finish with Nathan Stapleton taking the victory in that one. But now this week we're going to try to find out who the 6 drivers will be in this race. It'll be 15 laps of action. Remember, the top 6 get into the main roster for this race. Josiah Munsell leads him to green. Andrew Ramsey up on the top side. And right off the bat, you have Josiah Munsell driving out to the lead. Johnny Gardner right now in the 2nd position. Gardner still trying to make his NOS Energy Cup debut. And right now he's in a pretty good position to do just that. Wyatt Walker is in the exact same spot because remember, last week at Auto Club he dominated the qualifying race. And was good, and was well on his way to making his debut, but something went wrong going into turn 3. He ended up slowing down dramatically, and he failed to qualify into the main roster. But now he's in a pretty good position to where he could do it. Right now running 5th, the driver running in the final transfer spot. That is the 93, that is Megan Jones. Remember, Megan Jones qualified her way in. Well, not really qualified on time, but qualified through this race into last week's race at Fontana. We're going to do the same thing. There's a new driver here. I forgot to mention that it's Cody Roper in the number 5. This is the 5th EGI entry. And this car will be attempting 5 races. Cody Roper, a short track racer over in Arkansas. Sometimes he'll race in Arkansas, but also at other times he'll travel out of state and also race in other places. Sometimes he'll travel halfway across the country, maybe race in Indiana. This kid definitely knows how to get it done on the short tracks, but right now not faring so well here in this qualifying race. Fell all the way back to the 14th position. That's where he's being scored right now. But now he's in the 14th spot. And right now up at the front of the field, Osman Hamid was 5th, but now he just fell out of the top 6. So now it is Evan Hunter that holds on to the final transfer spot, unless Hamid has anything to say about it up on the top side, trying to make it work. Down into 3. It is still a battle here for this final transfer spot. Give it over to the number 64 of Evan Hunter here as he clears Osman Hamid. 7 to go this time by. It's still Josiah Munsell out front with just 1/3 of a second behind him. That is Johnny Gardner, and he is well on his way to making his NOS Energy Cup Series debut possibly grabbing some sponsorship for that number 7. They've failed to make the Daytona 500 and unfortunately was not able to make the Phoenix race nor the Auto Club race. But here, they're in a pretty good position to make the race here at Rockingham. 6 laps to go. Wyatt Walker now moving into 3rd. And then you have Megan Jones, Andrew Ramsey, and Osman Hamid, who's now found his way back inside of the top 6. Evan Hunter now with a little bit of fire now from the 92 of Caleb Hoffman. Saman Oskin, who came so close to winning the NOS Energy Cup race last Monday, but he was a little bit slower than what he was in the previous laps of that race, and Nathan Stapleton caught up to him, got by him, and drove to the victory at Fontana last week. And he is your new points leader. Speaking of Nathan Stapleton, I'll point that out a little bit more, go into more detail of that this Monday. 4 laps to go, and it's still Mansell and Johnny Gardner that have just been class of the field in this race. But right now it doesn't really matter if you're leading the race. As long as you're in this top 6, you're in pretty good shape to advance your way into the main event. And Caleb Hoffman, he knows that. He made last week's race at Fontana trying to go back-to-back. He's going to try everything he can to get around Osman Hamid here. Coming to 2 laps to go. And he is running out of time, so if he wants to get into the race, he's going to have to figure out a way to get by Osman Hamid and do it now before it's too late. They just took 2 to go, and Johnny Gardner has gone to the top position, as you probably just saw there on the ticker. Now, so it's Gardner now leading the way, coming to the white flag. And that final transfer spot is pretty much just up for grabs at this point. Unless if anything else happens to Osman Hamid, he's got this position in the bag. And Wyatt Walker will be able to make his NOS Energy Cup Series debut, finally, after the last 2 races. In his 3rd attempt, 3rd time definitely is a charm, but coming out of turn number 4, Johnny Gardner is going to win this qualifying race, and he will officially make his NOS Energy Cup debut. So will Wyatt Walker. And Caleb Hoffman somehow found a way to get around Osman Hamid to get in just barely into Monday's race here at Rockingham. And unfortunately for Osman Hamid, just so close, unfortunately was not able to hold off Caleb Hoffman. He'll be going home along with Saman Oskin, Marty Johnson, Evan Hunter, Michael DeFeo, Cody Roper in his first attempt to make his NOS Energy Cup Series debut. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen here today. Then you have the 46 of Chloe Erickson going home, along with Daniel Bouchard, Trinity Anderson, and Travis Crampton. Unfortunately, will not make, those 10 drivers will not make the race here at Rockingham, at least into the main roster. Well, folks, you now know who your top 6 are. Moving on, coming up next will be qualifying here at the Rockingham Speedway. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Rockingham Speedway, where we're going to find out where everyone is going to start here for race number 4 on the circuit. And I forgot the race name. But you know what? Never mind. It is what it is. But we're getting ready for race 4 of the season. You know that for sure. And the first car to hit the racetrack is the number 89 of Quentin Moore. Quentin Moore has had himself, you could say, a little bit of a mediocre start to the season. That Q-Man Motorsports number 89 just definitely hasn't really gotten the best start. I mean, mediocre at best, as I said before. Had some pretty decent finishes here and there, but definitely Quentin Moore looking to have himself a really good day. Really good evening on Monday night at the Rockingham Speedway. His first lap time was a 24.857. Ryan Gundello out on the racetrack carrying the McDonald's paint scheme. Ryan Gundello has just had himself a terrible first 3 races to this season. Finished second to last at Daytona. Had himself a pretty, I'm not sure if it was a pretty decent run at Phoenix, but he definitely didn't have him. I'm not sure if he had them. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm not sure if he had the best of finishes at Auto Club this past Monday. But he's definitely looking to rebound here. He's at the he has the fastest time right now with a 24.311. And there's Al Lagasse behind him, Annie Thomas, Christian Russell. There's Wyatt Walker coming out onto the racetrack. Nathan Stapleton, last week's winner, up on top of the charts with a 24.230. And he's in front of Nathan Orman in the 24, who had himself yet another thing go wrong for Orman. And unfortunately, he finished the race 37th at Auto Club. Just a handful of laps down, unfortunately. But Orman has just really hadn't had himself the best start to the season. Finished dead last in the 500, 3 laps down after issues on lap 1. Gotten the best finish that he has this season is a 12th place finish that came at Phoenix. And Orman right now looking to rebound. He's qualified, he was inside of the top 10, but now he's 11th with a 24.289 and slipping back. Eli Bright is on top with a 24.142. And Nathan Orman going to aboard and come down pit road. Probably is saying something is a little off about the car, so he's going to come down and get the necessary adjustments that he needs. But Nathan Stapleton here in this 97 has had himself a really good start to the season. Had himself some good finishes here and there. Won last Monday's race at Fontana. And now he's the points leader. So Nathan Stapleton, a really good start to the season for this number 97 cam. And NS Racing looking to add on to that. They've won 3 poles so far this year. They're looking to add a 4th one. And so far, no one's been close. None of the NS Racing cars have been really close, but Nathan Stapleton 21st with a 24.230. And then you have Zachary Fitzwater. See if we can find him. 15th with a 24.215. Now 16th. 3-way tie with that exact same lap time. Quentin Moore breaks the tie. Joshua Hyatt on top of the charts with a 24.077. Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet had a pretty good day at Auto Club this past Monday. I think ended up taking home a top 5 finish. Let me actually confirm that, because I believe I still have the data from Auto Club. Yeah, it took home a 6th place finish. Not too bad there for Joshua Hyatt. But he's en route to where he could win his first pole of the season, and the first pole of his NOS Energy Cup career. Betty Johnson up to second with a 24.094 in that Snickers Ford Fusion. Chevrolet has won the last 3 poles. All 3 of those have been NS Racing cars. And Chevy's looking to add on to that streak of poles, this time maybe with a number 3 of Joshua Hyatt. This would be the first full frontal motorsports entry to win the pole if this were to be the case. See where Fitzy's running. There is Zachary Fitzwater, this time driving the Shell V-Power Chevrolet. He's had Wilson Security on the hood for the last 3 races, but now this time he's giving Shell Pennzoil, not Shell Pennzoil, but just Shell a run here in this race. Right behind him, Daniel Voiles in the number 26. And Voiles had himself a top 15 run, a top 15 finish at Fontana, looking to add on to that. And at this very moment, he is 17th on the charts with a 24.213. And he's currently tied with Carter Friesen on that lap time, but Voiles breaks the tie. So your top 10 at this time, as of right now, is Joshua Hyatt. Could be the potential pole sitter if no one else touches his lap time. Then you have Betty Johnson, who would start second, Andrew Ramsey third, Emmanuel Hartnett fourth, then Emily Anderson that is in fifth. Cody Smart would be sixth, Eli Bright seventh, Henry Williams eighth, Noah Clifton ninth, and Derek Edison would complete the top 10. And that would be your potential front row right there, the 3 and the 83. As I had alluded to not too long ago, and they almost took each other out. Just trying to give enough room there to Stephen Colon in the 4 to come down to pit road. Now Stephen Colon, he has had himself a really rough first 3 races to his rookie campaign. He's currently, I believe, just outside of the top 30 in the point standings. And as of right now, he is, let me find him, 33rd with a 24.245. Getting some new tires on that number 4 car before they head back out on the racetrack. With 6.5 minutes remaining and just another 5 seconds or so, there's a lot of drivers that are definitely hungry for their first win of the season. We already have 2 winners that are competing for the championship, 2 drivers competing for the title that have already won this season. One of them is Joshua Cornish. Another one is the guy that we just alluded to not too long ago, Nathan Stapleton. But other than that, those are the only 2 drivers that are eligible for the championship that have won a race. The only other one that has won a race that is ineligible for the title, Josiah Munsell, winning the Daytona 500. There's Henry Williams, currently 8th on the charts with a 24.157. Henry Williams is definitely having himself a pretty good season so far. I believe he's inside of the top 10 in the point standings, if my memory serves me correct. I do not have the point standings right in front of me as we speak, but I definitely do know for sure that Henry Williams is having himself a pretty good start to the season. I'm not going to say it's the best start, but it's a pretty good one, to say the least. And Williams, if he can keep that up, he would be well on his way to his first victory here in the Cup Series. Skip back over here to, let's see if we can find him. Oh, there he is. It's Noah Clifton in the number 84, 9th on the charts with a 24.158. Noah Clifton has not had himself the best season at all. finished 28th at Fontana last week. But this time around, looking to add a little bit more, much more, to the performance that he had at Fontana, and also this performance that he's had so far throughout the season. Just really hadn't gotten the ball rolling just yet. But if he ever picks up a top 10 here, maybe a top 5, he might be able to get the ball rolling just a little bit, and maybe he would be well on his way to his first career victory. You just don't know what exactly is going to happen here in the WRLA. Anything can happen here in the WRLA. You just don't know exactly what's going to happen. But anything can happen, you just don't know when it's going to happen. There is one of the 2 most winningest drivers in the WRLA thus far. That is Emmanuel Hartnett. Drivers, the only 2 drivers that have won 2 races in their careers. This guy right here, as I said before, Hartnett, and also Ben Erickson. But Emmanuel Hartnett really hasn't gotten himself the start that he wanted, but I mean, he's still up there. He's still competing for race. He's still competing for the best finish possible. But Emmanuel Hartnett still has yet to get back into victory lane this year. He's currently 4th on the charts with a 24.109. So I mean, if he can keep up, if he can definitely capitalize on this qualifying performance and apply whatever he learned in the race, and Mansella and Hartnett made a little bit of contact. But as far as Hartnett goes, he could be in a pretty good position to win. That is if he puts himself in the right spots in Monday night's race. Hang on one second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had, stuff in my throat. Don't want to talk about it. But anyways, less than 2.5 minutes remaining here in this qualifying session. And your front row is pretty much just solidified at this rate. Unless if there's another driver that could come up there and dethrone Joshua Hyatt. Then Hyatt's pretty much got this in the bag. And the number 3. As far as Betty Johnson goes, she also has the 2nd position also pretty much locked in. Unless if something else happens, then that's your front row. As I've said many times before here on the show, Monday's race will be a night race here at the not the Fontana. We're not in Fontana. We're in Rockingham. We're in Rockingham, North Carolina. But we'll be under the lights for Monday's race, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And that should be a very good one here at Rockingham, North Carolina. And there's Wyatt Walker in the 99. Right now, Wyatt is 13th on the charts with a 24.177, tied with Caleb Hoffman. Wyatt breaks the tie with less than 1 minute to go. It's a nice shot of that, just the back straightaway there. There's our Smart Motorsports teammates, Cody Smart himself, right in front of his teammate Carter Friesen, who actually got himself the best finish of the season with a 9th place finish at Auto Club this last Monday. I can't even talk anymore. But as far as Cody Smart goes, Cody was in a pretty good position to win at Fontana, but unfortunately, he came back down pit road. I believe he had a pit road penalty or something along those lines, and he ended up finishing 32nd. 32nd. Yeah, he didn't have himself. He may have had himself a pretty good performance in the race, but just unfortunately was not able to connect the dots at the finish of the race, and now he just is pretty deep on the point standings and is definitely looking to try to improve on that. This time, try to connect the dots and win. But you never know what's going to happen at Rockingham this past Monday. Anything can happen within 79 laps. Cody Smart right now is 6th with a 24.137. The clock is already reset, but the front row pretty much is already established. It pretty much is at this rate. And the top 10 as times are finalized. I did not notice that, but you already just saw your top 10. But I didn't think that was going to happen. But anyways, that's going to do it here from the Rockingham Speedway. And we want to thank you guys a lot for watching here for Fontana. Why do I keep thinking Fontana? Rockingham. My gosh, brain, get it right. But thank you guys so much for watching qualifying sessions from the Rockingham Speedway. This Monday, it will be the main event here at the Rockingham Speedway under the lights. So that's going to be very fun. Hopefully you can tune in for that race at Monday night, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. But as far as today goes, it'll be 11 o'clock Saturday night tonight here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully you guys can tune in. And that about does it for me. Thank you guys a lot for watching. If you guys like the video, go ahead, give it a like. If you have not considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future, as well as episodes of your favorite podcasts coming out in the future throughout this upcoming weekend onward to the next. Thank you guys a lot for watching. I'm Elijah Leonard from the Leonard Station signing out, and we'll see you guys later.